good morning, good morning, everyone, or afternoon, or whatever time it is where you are. I know it is still morning on the East Coast. Wait, on the West Coast. I got that backwards. Yeah, the West Coast. So, good morning, everyone on the West Coast, and good afternoon to everyone on the East Coast, and happy lunchtime to everyone in the center of America. Um, where'd Char go? We need to get her back in here. Today we have with us the lovely Hollis. Everybody give a big round of applause. Woo! We haven't got to see Hollis. She's been dealing with some family stuff, and it is so good to see you again, sister. Glad you're here. How
It's
you
good to
doing
be
today?
back. I missed you guys.
We missed you. We missed you like crazy. Like if I had that song right now, I would start playing it. We miss you like crazy. Yes. Everyone, we're here today. We're going to be covering the Madeline Soto presser that starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So that's about 22 minutes from now. I'm sorry, 32 minutes from now. I can no do math today. Good morning, Sammy. How are you doing, beautiful?
I'm doing wonderful. How are y'all?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you, Crystal? How are you doing today, lovely?
I am well, thank you. I'm excited to hopefully get some answers today. So, looking forward to the news presser.
Me too. And I just want to give a shout out to everybody joining us today. As usual, we have Low 12 and Midwest in the house. Um, we got Paige. There's Star. Um, we
Yes.
have All Things Serious popped in. Good to see you, friend. We have Trista Scott. Glad you joined us today. Good to see you again. And how could we ever forget our Jasunki? Jason, it's so good to see you. And we got Kel, the lovely Kel. And we have, let's see, Kathy Clock. Kathy Clock the house. Welcome, dear. Welcome. PJ, good to see you. I just love PJ. Those glasses and her thing are so fly. I'm sorry, they just are. And her picture. Look at these glasses, y'all. These are fabulous.
I know
I
they
mean,
are good, right?
just absolutely fabulous glasses. And y'all know me, I have decent vision, but I still love my glasses. I got too many pairs of shades and glasses that aren't of any prescription. I'm that girl. Not only that, but they make me look smarter. Or so I've heard. That's debatable. Um, it's good to see everyone. Glad you all joined us. It looks like we're going to be getting some answers in the Madeline Soto case today. Um, I'm excited about that. What are you guys thinking? Let's put a one in. Let's do a live poll with us in here. Let's put a one in chat if you think that they're going to announce charges being against Stefan Soto, and put a two in chat if you think that maybe they're going to be announcing there are charges against Jennifer Soto. Please.
And what about a 3 for both?
Yeah, three for both.
I put a 4. I meant to
We're
type a
not
You
3.
playing
wouldn't have
golf.
to be different.
We're
I
not
know.
playing golf, Hollis.
I meant to type a 3 and it went to a 4. Oh my goodness.
I
Oh
have a
my goodness.
question.
Yes,
Do you think that we will get the Emmy results today?
I don't know. I do not know. There is a Florida law that protects minors from their records being released. And it all depends on whether or not, because I do know that the grandmother, I have to say that she had nothing to do with it, and she does have a say in whether or not the Emmy medical reports are released. So we might not be getting the Emmy reports today. Um, that's kind of up in the air, but I guess I
Not
doubt it would be my
not
response.
not to mention that she probably has a biological father out there who's got some say.
Unless the biological father decides that the autopsy results are so pertinent to the case that he wants them released.
Yeah.
So people
Never
Miss
know.
Right. You
Miss
never know.
Brazzy. Miss Brazzy in the house. Hello, gorgeous. Good to see y'all. I'm so glad you all made it. It's always such a blessing to be surrounded by all of you every day is a blessing. I just want you guys to know that. I love you. I love you.
So when did they announce that they were going to be doing a press conference today?
Well, I
Last
will.
night. It was last night.
Last night?
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Regina.
No, you're fine. Last night we heard that there was going to be a presser today, but we didn't know what time and stuff until today it was going to be. Um,
Okay.
but the news that there was going to be a presser today come out last night. Yeah.
That's interesting. So we have no idea what they're going to tell us.
Hey, sweet.
Exactly.
Hey, sweet and sleuthy. Good to see you again, girl. She's so sweet, you guys. I was over on Eddie, y'all know all things serious. I was over there hanging out with them last night. You guys, they kept me in stitches. Okay, stitches. I couldn't even breathe. I was laughing so hard. I just, it was hilarious. I had such a good time with them. For any of you that haven't gone over and checked out All Things Serious's channel, you simply must do that. They talk about mental health and they have, they talk about it seriously. And I think he does a very good job covering mental health. But then he also has shows like Who's Awake at 2 a.m. And y'all know me, that's about the time I'm arguing with the pillow of whether or not I'm going to be going to bed. Hey Kathy, good to see you, beautiful.
And if I'm not mistaken, Sammy G, you're going to be on panel tonight over at All Things Serious, correct?
Yes, yes, they're having a mental health discussion, and I'm going to be part of it.
What time is that going to be?
I do believe it's 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Okay. I'll have to replay crew it, but that's fine.
Hey Blondie. You guys, Blondie is amazing. Okay. She lets me lurk in Evan Freiberger's streams and talk about weather, and she doesn't ban me. Even when I get goofy. And y'all know how goofy I can be. For everyone wondering, Evan Freiberger, he's a YouTube weatherman. Go check out his channel too. He is my go-to weather guy. Um, Whenever no one else is covering storms and stuff, he is there, uh, helping keep people safe. And I just greatly appreciate him. And that's where I know Blondie from, and she's amazing. I'm just giving you a shout out, Blondie. um, but he's my go-to for weather. That's serious. He um he covers all of the US weather, and every great once in a while he'll try covering the world weather. That's always fun, but there's so much of it. He usually doesn't get it done because there's it's a big world. But he does really, really good, and his main goal is to keep folks safe. So if y'all haven't, go over there and sub up to Evan Freiberger Weather. I like Ryan Hall. I ain't got nothing against Ryan Hall, but I mean, Evan eats chicken wings live on air while he's doing the weather because he doesn't want to stop to give a break, whenever weather is that important. So I commend him for that. Oh, I love you too, Blondie. So let's talk a little bit more about this case with Madeline Soto. For anyone coming in that isn't aware of the Madeline Soto case, Madeline Soto was reported missing from Kissimmee, Florida. What day was that? Was it February the 26th? It was, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes. February the 26th, she was reported missing by her mother and her, yeah, her mother, Jennifer Soto, and Stephen Stearns. They reported that they thought she had been abducted. Come to find out, Stephen Stearns was throwing Madeline's book bag away at 7:35 a.m. Mother's report said she seen Madeline alive getting dressed at 8 a.m., which we know is impossible, because he was throwing her book bag away at 7:35 a.m. Why would you need to throw their book bag away if they were alive, and her laptop, right? And also, there's footage of Stephen. and Madeline in the vehicle, in which police have let us know that they believe Madeline was already deceased during that time. Anybody else want to elaborate further on that? And they found her body. Was it a week later?
Hmm.
Do y'all remember
I
what date it
believe it
was?
was 4 days later.
So 4 days later.
Yeah,
Yes,
because it was Monday and they found her on Friday, I believe.
you're right. You're absolutely right. Yes, yes. And they found her where Stefan had been changing a car tire, where he had had a flat. And we know that the flat was a real thing because he ended up having a donut on his vehicle, and those there are images of his car that day with the donut on his tire.
Now, do we know, was the donut on his tire early in the morning? And was the changing of the tire like a farce, just in case he was seen?
Now, the video footage of Madeline, where they say Madeline is deceased in the car had a regular tire on it during that time.
Mm.
And then the later pictures of the vehicle during the day show him having a donut spare tire on. So, from everything I've seen, from everything I've seen.
Now, s- just s- allegedly, he could have changed the tire out just to be able to say that he broke down. I would be curious to find out if they actually, in fact, looked for his flat tire in the trunk of his car. They must have. I'm sure they searched the car.
Absolutely. Well,
That's a very
they've
good
gone over
point.
that. They've gone over that car with a fine-tooth comb now, I would hope.
I mean, of all times to have a flat tire when you're trying to dispose of a body, wasn't his day, was it?
Not at all. That's karma though, and that's but God, because I mean, really, how would these people ever get caught up? Some of them, I mean, they always leave something behind. They always get seen, don't they? At one point or another, they always get caught up in their bull malarkey, don't they?
Well, and if you remember the presser with the sheriff, um, he also said that they believe they had footage of him bringing her out early in the morning. Now, I've said that before. Perception of early morning is different to to everyone. We all have our own sense of early morning. So maybe they have the video of that. You know, so which would give us a better time frame. Which to me, we already know that Jen is not credible,
No, she's
uh,
not.
in my
Not at
opinion.
all. Well, she's already lied so many times. Um, in her statements. I mean, it's like, do you
And
really? It's like kind of like, do you? It's the same principle. Would you trust someone that's known to rob banks with your bankroll?
I have a million questions. I really do. I, I mean, there's just, what did she know about her daughter? She doesn't know if she knew where she lives. We have that. We have the fact that, like you said, she lied 3 times, in 3 different interviews, one with the police, two with the newscasters. Her stories don't match. And for me, one of the hardest pills to swallow about this whole thing is, why would she not let the police in to search for her daughter, to look for evidence, to see if her daughter had any notes hidden in her room, saying she was going to meet somebody, anything. It could have been anything. Why did she not let them in without a warrant? Why?
I I could not I could not second that notion any more. What is true? I completely agree with you because I wouldn't care. There's nothing that I wouldn't give police or allow them access to if my child were missing in order to help find them.
And then we go on the assumption of her saying, oh, she was probably kidnapped. And she doesn't look urgent. She has no urgency. I mean, I would be tearing the world apart trying to help. I would run myself dead.
It starts in 18 minutes, sweet and sleuthy. Sorry, I was just answering that question real quick. She says what time is the presser? I'm so impatient. Us too. We want to know, girl. This is serious. This is serious. They got supposedly breaking news to bring us all on the Madeline Soto case today. So
Hollis, I'd like to hear what you have to say. Some of the questions that, how you feel about this and the way you see it.
Um, I think as far as like between who's guilty,
No, originally you were, you always take the stance that, you try to look at it with a positive view, meaning like the mom wasn't involved. And then you
oh,
said,
right, right. Yeah, no, at first I was like, there's no way a mother could do this. And if he's been abusing her in that way, it's got to be him. Like it's him. But then
uh,
when I watched, I guess it was by the time the second interview came out, I'm like, wait a minute, her stories aren't matching up. The times are different. Why this, why that? And then when we got together as a group and we were like, well, if A did B and C and D, then E and F and G and the alphabet just made sense at that point, that it had to have been her that did something to that child, in my opinion. Um, and that she basically called Stefan over to help her with the situation she had at hand.
right.
And so he
Hollis,
helped her.
I don't mean to break in at all, but you guys, also we have breaking news from our wonderful, beautiful, messy ball. Always, always working so hard to help bring justice to victims and their families, and to help find the missing. If y'all will look on your screen really quick,
I was trying to
um,
pronounce her name. Do you think that's Yazales?
I
The
think
X with the
so.
Z? Yazales?
Yep, I'm gonna
Okay.
say Yazeli Garcia de Jesus.
Yeah.
Um, she is a 12-year-old female, date of birth 4/18/2011. She is Hispanic, um, with brown hair, brown eyes. She's 5'3" with 100. She weighs 160 pounds. On March 21st, 2024, at approximately 2:30 a.m., um, Yazeli left her family apartment in the area of Reams Road and Buena Place in
Ridge,
Windermere. She
Rid-
was last seen wearing a short black dress and sandals. The second photo shows her hair as it looked when she left home. So her hair was reddish colored, apparently, when she left home. Well, these two pictures don't even look like the same person. Go ahead, Hollis. I'm sorry.
um, no,
Anyone?
I was just looking for updates on the press conference if it had started.
No, I have it pulled up ready for when it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyone with information regarding this case is urged to contact the Orange County Sheriff's Office at 407-836 HELP. That's 407-836-4357. So thank you, beautiful, for sending me that to where I could get that information out there. I greatly appreciate you. We all appreciate you for everything you do. Shout out to Beautiful Messy Ball. Everybody, let's give Beautiful Messy Ball, if y'all don't mind, a round of applause in the chat. Um, and we have 14 minutes left till presser. So, um, ladies, back to what y'all were saying. I just thought that was important to share really quick. Go ahead, Hollis. You were.
No, I just have a feeling that when she called Stefan over, that she made him help her take care of things. And the reason that um, now I don't know if the police. It seems like the police wanted to search her place after about 4:45 or 8 p.m. That's when they kind of responded. Why wouldn't she let them search her place if it had been like literally all day long after the incident?
exactly. Why? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. Of course, none of their statements now, like everything they ever filed as a report on Madeline missing, none of it makes sense anymore. I mean, none of it. Wouldn't y'all agree?
Right.
Char,
I'm
what do
just
you
wondering.
think? Oops, sorry, Hollis.
No, I was just wondering what she was trying to conceal inside that apartment.
Exactly. What is she trying to
Mm.
hide? Because innocent person has nothing to hide. So,
Correct.
I completely agree with that. Um, but then again, I do. Y'all know I'm a constitutionalist and I study law. So I have to say to protect your constitutional rights at all costs because if you don't, no one else will. But at the same time, look, I don't care about my rights. The only thing that matters to me is my kid. If my kid is missing, strip me down naked and spank me in public if you got to. Find my child, right?
well, she has no urgency. Char, do you have anything to talk? Like, I know that you have seen the lack of urgency in Jennifer. Do you have anything to,
Char char.
Sammy?
I,
Oh, let me add her
Oops.
to stage. That'll
No.
probably help her.
There you are.
Hello. Can you hear me well enough?
We can
Absolutely.
now. Everything we
Good.
got you in here. Everything's working. What
Good.
do you think, Char?
About what's happening today? I
Yes.
yes, I believe that, uh, in my opinion, that the mother knew, and she had a part in it, and I believe she probably, allegedly, is the guilty party in the death of Madeline. That's what I feel. Was that the question?
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I feel.
What
Why
about
do
you,
you think?
Sammy? Whoops,
Go ahead.
sorry. No,
No,
you
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Crystal. No. You first.
Char,
Go
what
ahead.
were you going to say?
Me? Oh,
Yeah, did,
nothing else. Nothing else, honey. That was it.
Sammy, what do you got?
I fell out when the question was asked. Which question did you ask?
I told you not to eat too many of those gummies.
I know it. I couldn't help myself.
um, I just want to know what you feel about this case in general and how you see the things that we know for fact. We know that she did not let the cops in without a warrant, and that was less than I think
That
8
is so.
hours.
That makes her so suspicious looking to me. And like Regina said, I absolutely would have let them tear up my house if that's what it took for them to move on and go find her. And to be really honest with you, I have a hard time. After her first time she spoke with any kind of media, she contradicted herself so many times, she lost credibility. There wasn't a chance I was going to believe anything she had to say.
I just had the worst. I just had the worst thought. If I'm going to say this as gently as I can, if at the party that night the mom just got really super irritated at the attention Stefan was given to her, and if the mother in the morning like went in there and they had words and she might have strangled her on the bed, let's say, I have a feeling she might have needed to clean up maybe a soiled mattress. That might have been what took her so long. Do
That's
y'all
what I
I
understand what I'm
said.
saying?
Oh, I do.
There was a reason she was covering something for hours on end. I think she had to contend with maybe something of that nature, maybe. I'm just trying to think why what would take her up until I guess they responded at 8 p.m. and them still not letting them in to search her house.
Do
Right.
A
do we
soiled
know?
Maybe
mattress having to dry?
maybe she was afraid of the forensic technology they would be using in the home. I mean, like luminol, um, amino black. I mean,
Yeah, because if there was an injury that consisted of bleeding, that would have had to been a cleanup as well.
I agree with Paige. I am curious to see if they have video of Madeline walking out alive. 100%. That's one of my big questions because I personally don't think that she was, in my opinion.
I agree with you, and I see exactly what you're saying. That would be hard for me to believe too, unless they had video of it
That
at this
she
point.
walked out and got into the car
Yeah,
this morning.
yeah, yeah.
It was a good question though, Paige. I feel the same. Or statement, I guess. It was more of a statement that she said. I just find the whole thing baffling. I just don't know. I personally, and I've said this before, I think when you have children, your heart walks is on the outside because your whole being isn't about you anymore. It's about your child and protecting your child. And regardless if she physically killed her daughter, she still exposed her to the torture and the abuse that that child went through. And she either chose to ignore it or she knew about it. But the fact is that woman will have to live with knowing that her daughter died because of her, in my opinion.
Well, it's hard because I know all of us we can't envision a mother killing their own daughter or son, their own child. But there's so many cases where it happens. Like look at Chandra Vander Ark, where she starved her own son and thought it was okay. Susan Smith drove her two kids in the car.
Mm.
This woman who just was a Krieger, the Amber Alert with her son, she took off. It was a murder suicide.
You guys,
You
that one
have
hit
that
me right in the
you
gut.
have that other case in South Provo where the mother allowed the stepfather and she participated in the activities in the bedroom. So you do have I don't think people realize that a mother can still be just as wicked as a criminal
Now,
just because
Hollis,
they gave birth.
you sent me the court documents from that case. Is it the Haynes? Is that the name? What's the name
Yes,
of?
that's it.
Yes. You guys, look, I wanted to reach through the documents and just whoop this mom and dad so bad. It was so awful. Like, y'all know I don't believe in violence. I wanted to hurt these people for what they did to their own daughter. Like, and that's Hollis a very good and valid point, like with the Haynes case. A
Yeah.
mother can be just as evil and do just as evil, and even um the related crimes that you would never suspect a mother, they're perfectly capable of. And I've seen that in those documents. And I appreciate you sending them to me because it opened up my eyes to a new level of what a mother could be capable of whenever she's not representing us real moms, if you know what I mean.
Right. Right, exactly. Um, Candace Wells. I mean, there are tons of mothers out there who sometimes you wonder if they have kids as a commodity. Well, they have children, but then they turn them into a commodity that benefits themselves. They're not really a mother to that child anymore.
For
They're
me,
just an owned object.
Good afternoon, Kyle. Good to see you. You guys, Yankee Kyle is in the house.
I just feel so bad for Madeline because I don't think that she knew what true love from a mother to a daughter is supposed to be. And that makes me so sad for that girl. Because the last has it been 6 years now that we have as fact that he was in her life? For the last 6 years, that poor girl has been tortured. And she didn't know what love was. And that to me is the saddest part. Because I wonder if, as Madeline, she thought, is there something wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? How can I make this stop? Why won't anyone listen to me? And it's just sad. It's sad. And it needs to stop. If people don't want children, then don't have them. If you are incapable of loving a human being, then don't have them. There's no such thing as the perfect parent. But in my eyes, she is not a parent. She never parented her child,
Right.
in my opinion. Sorry. I'm just so worked up about this because it's just so sad.
Well, yeah, because there she is living under a roof where she can't trust any adult in that home. Nobody believes her. And every night she has to go to bed wondering, is someone coming in my room tonight? Again and again and again, you know? Not anyway a 13-year-old child should be living.
Well,
She
she was
should be
8
out.
when it started.
Yeah,
She was 8 when it started.
I know.
there's no child that should live that life. None. I mean, it just bothers me so bad when I see her interviews and she never says she loves her. There is no love in that woman. I see nothing. I see emptiness. Empty.
Well, yeah, there's no urgency to her pleading and begging for people if they found her, this and that, and all she does is demean her own deceased daughter.
And
Well,
not to
It
Holly,
mention,
belittles her over and over
When
again.
is this presser, and by
2
who?
minutes. 2
and not,
minutes.
and not to mention, if I thought my child got kidnapped or abducted, I wouldn't just be sitting on my ass. I would be out there. I'm sorry.
Right? Where I fell asleep was where my head hit the ground from me searching, right? If it was my child, right?
Absolutely.
100%.
Here's the thing that gets me during the mom's interview. Most parents that think their children have been kidnapped plead and beg for their children's lives on whenever they are given the chance to say anything. They speak highly of their child.
Is the
They
presser starting now?
uh just a minute. No, it hasn't started yet. It's 1 minute out. Um, I keep looking, don't worry. I don't understand how you can sit there and push the narrative. You think someone has kidnapped your daughter, but you're not addressing the kidnappers directly every chance you get and begging for the return of your wonderful, sweet, loving child. Does that make sense?
You know it does. You know it does. Absolutely.
I think it started. Can you hear me? No. Hello?
I hear you. I don't see where it has started, you guys.
Oh, okay, because they're saying on chat that it had started.
Do I have the wrong link for the press conference, you guys? I'm not showing the
Is
press
it
conference.
is it WFLA channel 8 or is it the Fox 35 one that you're watching?
I'm watching. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. Um,
And is can someone in chat tell us what news station if it started?
It says WFLA is where I see it, is what Blondie said.
oh my goodness. Yes, hold on. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm fixing to put it up. I got my hand on. Okay, here we go. We're gonna start right now.
I hope Madeline gets justice.
Alibet Suarez. I'm the communication.
Again, as a reminder to our audience, as we wait for the press conference to begin, after the press conference, we're going to
Hello,
break down what
everyone.
we have
Thank
learned.
you so much for being here. My name is Alibet Suarez. I'm the Communications Director for the City of Kissimmee. Chief Betty Holland will be providing remarks about the progress of the investigation. After that, she will open the floor for questions. We are not doing one-on-one interviews after the press conference. If you have any questions that are not related to this case, please send an email to kpdpio@kissimmee.gov. At the end of the press conference, you will receive a package with information about the case in English and Spanish. Now, I would like to introduce Chief Betty Holland.
We'll break down what we have learned after the press conference concludes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today and allowing us to provide an update on our investigation into Madeline Soto's disappearance and death. Madeline was reported missing on Monday, February 26, 2024, just one day after her 13th birthday. Since then, our investigation has been relentless, fueled by the unwavering commitment to uncover the truth. During our forensic investigation, we uncovered disturbing evidence, graphic images, and videos depicting crimes being committed. It was during this examination that we learned we needed to act swiftly to remove the suspect, Stefan Stearns, from our streets. Despite the arrest, our investigation into her disappearance remained ongoing. We understand the importance of thoroughly exploring every lead and piece of evidence. The Kissimmee Police Department, along with other law enforcement agencies in Central Florida, continue their search for Madeline for the next several days following her disappearance, and we turn to the public for help. During this time, our investigators combed through a significant number of tips, and on March 1st, we received information placing Stearns' vehicle in a rural area of St. Cloud, where ultimately Madeline's body was discovered. We are all deeply saddened by the outcome of Madeline's disappearance. The Kissimmee Police Department continues to piece together the timeline leading up to the events that occurred. I want to address some questions we are receiving from the media in everyone's effort to keep the community up to date on this tragedy. At this time, Stearns is facing a total of 60 charges related to our investigation. This includes sexual battery, lewd and lascivious molestation, and unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child. These charges reflect the meticulous work of our law enforcement community. Our detectives also are working closely with the State's Attorney's Office for the 9th Judicial Circuit and the Medical Examiner's Office on the investigation. Death investigations are complex. Tasks like forensic analysis and thorough interviews are crucial and require careful attention. It is vital to address these misconceptions in the pursuit of justice while preserving the integrity to the case. During an investigation such as this one, we gather additional information from individuals close to the deceased. Each person interviewed is treated as involved until proven otherwise. This is a standard protocol to ensure all the facts are uncovered. During our investigation, we have interviewed many individuals. Each interview has been vital to our understanding of the case. We are reviewing all of the information we received and are following up on every lead. Attention to detail and the diligence are the most important aspects of this investigation. We are committed to transparency and will provide updates when possible. Madeline's story has touched the hearts of many. Rest assured, our department is diligently working on the investigation. And while we appreciate the public's interest, we must prioritize the integrity of the investigation. We appreciate your support and understanding as we gather the facts. We intend to release additional information in the future, providing more details that we do not compromise the ongoing investigation. We vow to do everything in our power to ensure Madeline's memory is honored with justice. Our detectives are dedicated to pursuing every lead, uncovering every fact, and holding those responsible accountable. Now I will open it up for any questions.
Chief, I have a question. We know that you're working behind the scenes during this investigation to make sure everything is in order, but what can you tell us new today that we don't already know?
I don't have anything new that you don't already know, other than our detectives are working tirelessly day in and day out to ensure, all the facts are uncovered in this investigation.
Chief Holland, is the mother a suspect or a person of interest in this investigation? And also with the videos that you uncovered, is there any evidence of the mother's involvement on any of these videos?
So everyone that was close to Madeline is considered suspect until we have proven otherwise.
Chief, how close are we able to know what actually happened to Madeline Soto?
Well, this is a very sensitive and, it's very intricate. We want to make sure that we uncover every single fact and all the evidence before, we don't want to put a timeline on it, basically, because the detectives are very meticulous in what they do. And we want to be sure that everything is uncovered that possibly can.
Chief, can you release any information about the manner in which Maddie died at this point?
No, ma'am, we are still waiting on the medical examiner's report.
Chief, do you believe Maddie was killed inside of the family's home or somewhere else?
We're still uncovering all of those details. I'm not going to speculate on that until we have the facts.
Chief, can you tell us if Stephen Stearns acted alone in all of this?
We're still uncovering all the evidence. I don't want to speculate whether he was or not. We will wait until the investigation, is completed to make that determination.
Has Stephen Stearns said he acted alone, or what has he said in interviews with you? Since we know he's in jail for these,
yes.
What has he told you about other people's involvement, if any?
He has invoked his right to a lawyer, so we have not spoke with him.
Is there any time that you can expect an update for us? The public is asking every single day, and we understand that you're working on the investigation, but we would like to give them something.
I don't want to rush my detectives. I think it's paramount that they take their time. And, Mr. Stearns is not going anywhere. He's in jail and he's going to be there for a while. So my detectives, I want them to be, just look at every single detail and make sure. But I don't want to give a timeline at this point.
You mentioned you're working closely with the medical examiner. What does that relationship kind of look like, and what information are they able to release to you before that exam is complete?
So not really. I wouldn't say that they've released an information. We depend on the medical examiner's report for our report. So we're going to have to wait until they release that report.
Do you believe there are any additional victims?
No, it appears that this all was isolated to the home.
Chief, I'm still trying to get a sense of things. Do you still feel like you have more questions than answers at this point?
I think our questions are being answered slowly but surely. For the integrity of the investigation, we have to, keep things close until such time as we hold those accountable for her death.
Chief, do you feel like this is taking longer than it should because Stearns is not speaking?
No, I just think that, sometimes these investigations are just very lengthy. We know that he is in jail and he is not going anywhere. So the detectives are just making sure they cross the T's and dot their I's. They want to put together, a foolproof investigation.
Chief, is the mother and the family members being cooperative and answering questions? Have they lawyered up? And also the father of Madeline, who is not a Florida resident, is he a part of this investigation or at least being asked questions?
We have interviewed, all those family members that are close. Mother has cooperated. She did give us an interview. So there's, no one is not cooperating other than Stearns.
We know that the crimes were committed in the home. We also have, the date of birth of the person, but we have not confirmed that is Madeline Soto. Would you be able to confirm that information for us?
Right. So all of the charges are with children under the age of 18, and they are protected. Their identity is protected under the law.
So it's going to expect. It's been a couple of weeks. Nobody's charged for the murder of Madeline. Nobody knows exactly what happened to Madeline. We can expect in the couple days someone going to face charge for the murder of Madeline Soto.
When the detectives put their case together, like I said before, they want to ensure their investigation is tight. We're working, hand in hand with the state attorney's office to ensure every piece of evidence is revealed and uncovered. So I can't put a timeline on when that might be.
And Chief, with his cell phone, there's one thing to understand here. So he originally went to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. At least that's what we understand. He gave the cell phone to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office then found something on his phone, which led to an arrest. In the arrest affidavit from Kissimmee PD, it says he offered his phone freely to Kissimmee PD. Can you kind of explain how that happened? Because I just have a tough time understanding how somebody who's been arrested for something on his phone freely gives a phone out again.
Well, I don't know the intricate details of, I do know that the Orange County Sheriff's Office and Kissimmee Police Department were working hand in hand, during, the actual disappearance investigation. So I don't want to speak on exactly how that happened, but it's not uncommon for us to ask someone if they want to, give up their phone.
Chief, is there anything in particular that keeps you up at night regarding this case?
Well, a lot of things keep me up at night. My takeaway from this is talk to your children, families, talk to your kids. Know that there are agencies out there, the abuse hotline, Help Now, that people can report suspicion to. And I would encourage mothers and fathers to have those conversations with the kids and be aware.
Last question.
Had you guys investigated this family before?
Not for anything like this, no ma'am.
I'm sorry, can we just confirm how long that relationship was, the mother and the stepfather?
That is still being under investigation. We're trying to get the timeline for that.
Chief, I have one more question. This is a case that became really big out of nowhere for a lot of people, but what has the department learned through all of this so far?
Well, this was a very tragic event. I think that, like I said earlier, it's up to us, up to each family member to have those conversations with your kids and report any suspicion of abuse to your school resource officer, to an adult that's a trusted adult, to any police officer that's out there. So just report it and let the law enforcement community investigate. Thank you.
Wow.
Well, if they didn't just say we're not telling y'all anything.
But I would like to point something out. Can I just point something out real quick? That woman that just did the news conference is incapable of lying because she moves her head, yes and no. She answers like her mannerisms. She's telling the truth. So when asked if Jen was a suspect, she shook her head yes, and then said everyone close to the family is still a suspect. And then she did that further on down the road. Like if you watch it, she answers. And she's so, okay, that's all I got.
I completely agree with that. But what I picked up from it was they are definitely looking.
And we learned that the ME report hasn't released yet.
But the ME report might not be released to anyone but the police if the family signs the thing that it can't be released to the public. I'll tell you what, they did not put anybody's mind to ease whether or not. I mean, they did not in any way clear Jennifer Soto. I mean, that is something, you guys.
That's what I feel like.
And she kept saying for those involved. She used the word plural several times.
She did. Yes, she
did. I'm wondering if that has to do more with what he had on his phone and who he shared his information with. I wonder if she was talking about that as far as Stefan goes.
I think that's exactly what she was talking about.
I do too.
I mean,
someone mentioned in chat, I think it was
and y'all heard that, right? So we understood, Hollis, we understood those probable cause affidavits perfectly, me and you did, on his 60 new charges. That just confirmed, she said victims under 18 years of age on his phone.
But as far as any evidence of it being Jennifer Soto involved, we got nothing from that other than, of course, all family members that were close to her are suspects. So kind of answered it without answering it. Do you agree?
Well, her head shake answered it for me.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and when she spoke, when she was like full of conviction, her head shook faster. And when she would answer a question, no, like she was honest about it, she would look down first and then she would look up and she would shake her head no as she was answering. So I don't think she even realizes that she answers questions by her nodding, but she does.
I'd love to see the press conference again, and we can stop
Y'all
and
want
go
to
through
watch it
the
again? Let's
questions.
do
I
it.
would love
Let's
to.
do
Let's
it.
dissect
Let's
this.
do it. Let's
Let's do it,
absolutely do
ladies.
it.
This is what we
Let's
chat
watch it
about.
again. Let's break it down. I
Yeah.
love it. Let's do it to it.
Let's go
I'm
for
all
it.
for it, and you already know it.
If you have any questions that are not related to this case, please send an email to kpdpio@kissimmee.gov. At the end of the press conference, you will receive a package with information about the case in English and Spanish. Now, I
Amen,
would like to
Blondie.
introduce Chief Betty
Yeah.
Holden.
I couldn't agree more.
We'll break down what we have learned after the press conference concludes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today and allowing us to provide an update on our investigation into Madeline Soto's disappearance and death. Madeline was reported missing on Monday, February 26, 2024, just one day after her 13th birthday. Since then, our investigation has been relentless.
Sorry, I just want to point out, Crystal, again, how good you are in reading people, because this woman is confident and her body language says she's telling the truth. 100%. She's nodding to what she's saying because she believes it. You know what I'm saying? She's agreeing with it. You can see that. So good call out. What is true? Good call out.
Thank you.
Fueled by the unwavering commitment to uncover the truth. During our forensic investigation, we uncovered disturbing evidence, graphic images, and videos depicting crimes being committed. It was during this examination that we learned we needed to act swiftly to remove the suspect, Stefan Stearns, from our streets. Despite the arrest, our investigation into her disappearance remained ongoing. We understand the importance of thoroughly exploring every lead and piece of evidence. The Kissimmee Police Department, along with other law enforcement agencies in Central Florida, continue their search for Madeline for the next several days following her disappearance, and we turn to the public for help. During this time, our investigators combed through a significant number of tips, and on March 1st, we received information placing Stearns' vehicle in a rural area of St. Cloud, where ultimately Madeline's body was discovered. We are all deeply saddened by the outcome of Madeline's disappearance. The Kissimmee Police Department continues to piece together the timeline leading up to the events that occurred. I want to address some questions we are receiving from the media in everyone's effort to keep the community up to date on this tragedy. At this time, Stearns is facing a total of 60 charges related to our investigation. This includes sexual battery, lewd and lascivious molestation, and unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child. These charges reflect the meticulous work of our law enforcement community. Our detectives also are working closely with the State's Attorney's Office for the 9th Judicial Circuit and the Medical Examiner's Office on the investigation. Death investigations are complex. Tasks like forensic analysis and thorough interviews are crucial and require careful attention. It is vital to address these misconceptions in the pursuit of justice while preserving the integrity to the case. During an investigation such as this one, we gather additional information from individuals close to the deceased. Each person interviewed is treated as involved until proven otherwise. This is a standard protocol to ensure all the facts are uncovered. During our investigation, we have interviewed many individuals. Each interview has been vital to our understanding of the case. We are reviewing all of the information we received and are following up on every lead. Attention to detail and the diligence are the most important aspects of this investigation. We are committed to transparency and will provide updates when possible. Madeline's story has touched the hearts of many. Rest assured, our department is diligently working on the investigation. And while we appreciate the public's interest, we must prioritize the integrity of the investigation. We appreciate your support and understanding as we gather the facts. We intend to release additional information in the future, providing more details that we do not compromise the ongoing investigation. We vow to do everything in our power to ensure Madeline's memory is honored with justice. Our detectives are dedicated to pursuing every lead, uncovering every fact, and holding those responsible accountable. Now I will open it.
Muted.
Thank you. Okay, right there. Did y'all hear what she just said? Listen to what she says just again and look at the conviction she says this with. Watch.
Depicting sexual performance by a child. These charges reflect the meticulous work of our law enforcement community.
I went back too far. Give
Our
it a second.
detectives also are working closely with the State's Attorney's Office for the 9th Judicial Circuit and the Medical Examiner's Office on the investigation. Death investigations are complex. Tasks like forensic analysis and thorough interviews are crucial and require careful attention. It is vital to address these misconceptions in the pursuit of justice while preserving the integrity to the case. During an investigation such as this one, we gather additional information from individuals close to the deceased. Each person interviewed is treated as involved until proven otherwise. This is a standard protocol to ensure all the facts are uncovered. During our investigation, we have interviewed many individuals. Each interview has been vital to our understanding of the case. We are reviewing all of the information we received and are following up on every lead. Attention to detail and the diligence are the most important aspects of this investigation. We are committed to transparency and will provide updates when possible. Madeline's story has touched the hearts of many. Rest assured, our department is diligently working on the investigation. And while we appreciate the public's interest, we must prioritize the integrity of the investigation. We appreciate your support and understanding as we gather the facts. We intend to release additional information in the future, providing more details that we do not compromise the ongoing investigation. We vow to do everything in our power to ensure Madeline's memory is honored with justice. Our detectives are dedicated to pursuing every lead, uncovering every fact, and holding those responsible.
Did you hear what she just said? Listen to what she just said.
Investigation. We are committed to transparency and will provide updates when possible. Madeline's story has touched the hearts of many. Rest assured, our department is diligently working on the investigation. And while we appreciate the public's interest, we must prioritize the integrity of the investigation. We appreciate your support and understanding as we gather the facts. We intend to release additional information in the future, providing more details that we do not compromise the ongoing investigation. We vow to do everything in our power to ensure Madeline's memory is honored with justice. Our detectives are dedicated to pursuing every lead, uncovering every fact, and holding those responsible accountable.
Holding those
responsible
accountable.
I think it's for everything as far as on Stefan that they have on Stefan.
Why didn't she say the person accountable? Why didn't
You
she
know
say
what?
the
I
person
bet
accountable
you
for this?
they have one big giant convoluted mess when they
Yeah,
got into his phone.
that's right. I think she's talking about what was discovered on Stefan's phone. They've got a lot more charges on other people for what might have been passed around for child.
Yep. And let's be for
But
real.
she's
This
talking
may
specifically.
actually
But she's
that
listen. She said for Madeline's death. Listen to it.
And will provide updates when possible. Madeline's story has touched the hearts of many. Rest assured, our department is diligently working on the investigation. And while we appreciate the public's interest, we must prioritize the integrity of the investigation. We appreciate your support and understanding as we gather the facts. We intend to release additional information in the future, providing more details that we do not compromise the ongoing investigation. We vow to do everything in our power to ensure Madeline's memory is honored with justice. Our detectives are dedicated to pursuing every lead, uncovering every fact, and holding those responsible accountable.
Okay,
Now
you know
I'll
what I
open it
get,
up for any
Regina?
questions.
Chief, I have a question.
You think she's referring to the images on the phone, holding everyone responsible in those images, or
Yeah,
you
that's
think
what
she's?
I think that's what she's
Mm,
referring to. Because she said we will give you further, before that, she mentioned that they would be giving further updates as long as it did not compromise the integrity of this case. So I think we're going to be looking at
multiple
Kissimmee Police
cases.
Department and charges as far as what he did with his phone and who he circulated his stuff to and whatnot. I think that's what she means because it's kind of like it's part of the whole case, but they're not going to compromise anything that they find from Maddie and give us any details because they don't want to compromise if they have to make other charges on somebody else. I think we're going to get updates more along the line of what was on Stephen Stern's phone first before we may hear anything about who they found. I think we have to wait for the medical examiner's office as far as Madeline goes. But as far as Stefan goes, I think they've got a lot of stuff on him, on his phone,
Are
and
you
I think
kidding?
that's what she means.
That man will never see the light of day again. He's a
And like,
monster. He doesn't deserve. I mean, he
and
deserves
like,
forgiveness. I pray for his soul, but man, I think that you know how I feel about this. I
yeah.
think that there's certain things people should die for.
But Sammy, I agree with you. I think it's opened a whole can of worms for that police department.
I
What
do
they found
too.
on his phone. What does
yeah,
Trey? What do you
I'm
think?
willing to bet you that this may involve more people than we even know about because I promise you they didn't just look at his phone and go, "Oh, look, there's more," and then walk away. They're looking into probably more people than we could ever imagine.
Yep.
And I know allegedly it's rumored out there, and I'm going to say a big allegedly that this may have been how he made his income.
Well, I don't want to talk about the income and the intricacies of his family's income and stuff. Um, but
Can
I
I
will
say
tell
something?
you this. I will tell you this. There were other images of other children on his phone, and he got that from somewhere. It Y'all don't understand. These people are in groups, and they trade this stuff and sell this stuff back and forth to each other. It's
Well, that's what
disgusting.
she meant by those.
See, I
That's
agree
what.
with your perspective, and I can see where you're coming from. But I still think because earlier in this conference, she talks about not having no, we do not have the results of the Emmy reports.
You know what? And I would just like to rephrase my statement. It's not just these guys because women are just as capable of these atrocities, you guys.
Oh,
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
it's these people. We'll say these people.
But I do think that what you're saying, Hollis, is
These
very
twisted
plausible.
individuals.
Is
They
very
kind of lose the.
plausible. it's
Um,
hard to read, these press conferences sometimes. So, but I just think her reactions are very telling to me. I see a lot of she's very full of conviction, and like I said, can we go? Are we gonna?
yep.
We know that you're working behind the scenes during this investigation to make sure everything is in order, but what can you tell us new today that we don't already know?
I don't have anything new that you don't already know, other than our detectives are working tirelessly day in and day out to ensure, all the facts are uncovered in this investigation.
Chief Holland, is the mother a suspect or a person of interest in this investigation? And also with the videos that you uncovered, is there any evidence of the mother's involvement on any of these videos?
So everyone that was close to Madeline is considered suspect until we have proven otherwise.
Chief, how close are we able to know what actually happened to Madeline Soto?
Well, this is a very sensitive and, it's very intricate. We want to make sure that we uncover every single fact and all the evidence before, we don't want to put a timeline on it, basically, because the detectives are very meticulous in what they do. And we want to be sure that everything is uncovered that possibly can.
It's interesting when that reporter asked her
I
that
I just want
question.
to. I was talking, but I was muted. Hold on, Hollis. I just want to take a. I think that these. I think right there, you guys. I have to say, I think law enforcement. I think LE is on the ball. I think they are 100% seeking justice and nothing but justice for Madeline. And I think that they are doing everything in their power to ensure that everyone involved in what's going on is brought to justice. And I think they just verified without a shadow of a doubt that Jennifer Soto is a suspect.
I totally agree. It was interesting when the reporter, when he said the word mother, the very first question, the minute he said mother, she licked her lips.
Hmm. I mean, just
And she messed with her lips a little during that before and after question. It was interesting.
I saw that.
And now she's turning
It was,
completely away from him to avoid any further interaction about answering a Jennifer question.
yep, she had to take that little moment to breathe and think about that question.
Yep.
You know what
And
I'm saying? You could see it.
yeah. And now she's totally disengaged with that side of the room because that's where the question came from.
Yep,
Find it
very
interesting.
good. Your lady's perspective is so interesting and refreshing.
Any information about the manner in which Maddie died at this point?
No, ma'am, we are still waiting on the medical examiner's report.
Chief, do you believe Maddie was killed inside of the family's home or somewhere else?
We're still uncovering all of those details. I'm not going to speculate on that until we have the facts.
Chief, can you tell us if Stephen Stearns acted alone in all of this?
We're still uncovering all the evidence. I don't want to speculate whether he was or not. We will wait until the investigation, is completed to make that determination.
As Stephen Stearns.
Okay. Right.
Whoa.
Yep. You caught it right.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Y'all heard. Let's play that again.
We're
There
still
you go.
uncovering all of those details. I'm not going to speculate on that until we have the facts.
Chief, can you tell us if Stephen Stearns acted alone in all of this?
We're still uncovering all the evidence. I don't want to speculate whether he was or not. We will wait until the investigation, is completed to make that determination.
As Stephen
Did you
Stearns said,
did you
Did
see
she
how she
shake her
shook her
head
head?
no?
No. Yes, she did.
Yes, she did.
Maddie was killed inside of the family's home or somewhere else?
We're still uncovering all of those details. I'm not going to speculate on that until we have the facts.
Chief, can you tell us if Stephen Stearns acted alone in all of this?
We're still uncovering all the evidence. I don't want to speculate.
Oh,
Yep,
She did.
she did.
She shook her head no.
On the medical examiner's report.
They have more evidence than we think.
Inside of the family's home or somewhere else?
we're still uncovering all of those details. I'm not going to speculate on that until we have the facts.
Chief, can you tell us if Stephen Stearns acted alone in all of this?
We're still uncovering all the evidence. I don't want to speculate whether he was or not. We will wait until the investigation, is completed to make that determination.
Has Stephen Stearns said he acted alone, or what has he said in interviews with you? Since we know he's in jail for these,
Yes.
what has he told you about other people's involvement, if any?
He has invoked his right to a lawyer, so we have not spoke with him.
Is there any time that you can expect an update for us? The public is asking every single day, and we understand that you're working on the investigation, but we would like to give them something.
I don't want to rush my detectives. I think it's paramount that they take their time. And, Mr. Stearns is not going anywhere. He's in jail and he's going to be there for a while. So my detectives, I want them to be, just look at every single detail and make sure. But I don't want to give a timeline at this point.
She even shook her head no when saying,
What does that relationship kind of look like, and what information?
she shook her head no when saying he's never getting out. Did you catch that? He'll never
I
see
think
the
it's
light of day.
paramount that they take their time. And, Mr. Stearns is not going anywhere. He's in jail and he's going to be there for a while. So my detectives, I want them to be, just look at every single detail and make sure. But I don't want to give a timeline at this point.
You mentioned you're working closely with the medical examiner. What does that relationship kind of look like, and what information are they able to release to you before that exam is complete?
So not really. I wouldn't say that they've released an information. We depend on the medical examiner's report for our report. So we're going to have to wait until they release that report.
Do you believe there are any additional victims?
No, it appears that this all was isolated to the home.
Chief, I'm still trying to get a sense of things. Do you still feel like you have more questions than answers at this point?
I think our questions are being answered slowly but surely. For the integrity of the investigation, we have to, keep things close until such time as we hold those accountable for her death.
Chief, do you feel like this is taking longer than it should because Stearns is not speaking?
There's that word again.
No,
Go.
I just think that, sometimes these investigations are just very lengthy. We know that he is in jail and he is not going anywhere. So the detectives are just making sure they cross the T's and dot their I's. They want to put together, a foolproof investigation.
Chief, is the mother and the family members being cooperative and answering questions? Have they lawyered up? And also the father of Madeline, who is not a Florida resident, is he a part of this investigation, or at least being asked questions?
We have interviewed, all those family members that are close. Mother has cooperated. She did give us an interview. So there's, no one is not cooperating other than Stearns.
We know that the crimes were committed in the home. We also have, the date of birth of the person, but we have not confirmed that is Madeline Soto. Would you be able to confirm that information for us?
Right. So all of the charges are with children under the age of 18, and they are protected. Their identity is protected under the law.
So it's gonna expect. It's been a couple of weeks. Nobody's charged for the murder of Madeline. Nobody knows exactly what happened to Madeline. We can expect in the couple days someone is gonna face charge for the murder of Madeline Soto.
When the detectives put their case together, like I said before, they want to ensure their investigation is tight. We're working, hand in hand with the state attorney's office to ensure, every piece of evidence is revealed and uncovered. So I can't put a timeline on when that might be.
And Chief, with his cell phone, there's one thing to understand here. So he originally went to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. At least that's what we understand. He gave his cell phone to the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The Sheriff's Office then found something on his phone, which led to an arrest. In the arrest affidavit from Kissimmee PD, it says he offered his phone freely to Kissimmee PD. Can you kind of explain how that happened? Because I just have a tough time understanding how somebody who's been arrested for something on his phone freely gives a phone out again.
Well, I don't know the intricate details I do know that the Orange County Sheriff's Office and Kissimmee Police Department were working hand in hand, during, the actual disappearance investigation. So I don't want to speak on exactly how that happened, but it's not uncommon for us to ask someone if they want to, give up their phone.
Chief, is there anything in particular that keeps you up at night regarding this case?
Well, a lot of things keep me up at night. My takeaway from this is talk to your children, families, talk to your kids. Know that there are agencies out there, the abuse hotline.
Me too, Paige. Me too,
That
Paige.
people can report suspicion to. And I would encourage mothers and fathers to have those conversations with the kids and be aware.
Last question. Last question.
Had you guys investigated this family before?
Not for anything like this, no, ma'am.
I'm sorry, can we just confirm how long that relationship was, the mother and the stepfather?
That is still being under investigation. We're trying to get the timeline for that.
Chief, I have one more question. This is a case that became really big out of nowhere for a lot of people, but what has the department learned through all of this so far?
Well, this was a very tragic event. I think that, like I said earlier, it's up to us, up to each family member to have those conversations with your kids and report any suspicion of abuse to your school resource officer, to an adult that's a trusted adult, to any police officer that's out there. So just report it and let the law enforcement community investigate. Okay. Thank you.
Look at JB's face.
Look at JB's face. He's like, well,
Look at his-
darn.
He's like,
What did
what?
Jay
Really?
produce?
I gotta hear his response real quick, you guys. I gotta hear it. With that look on his face, I gotta hear it.
I'm baffled. I'm just baffled. That's my first. I just want to. I'm always upfront and honest with our audience. I'm baffled. No significant update today.
That's
no
true.
charges. Any
What?
charges?
Yeah,
let
nothing.
alone murder charges being filed
Yeah.
in this case. The Kissimmee Police Department, on their own accord, decided
We agree,
to call a
JB.
press conference today, and the press conference there was the anticipation from local media that this was going to be to announce an update, to announce new details, to give us an update on the progress of the
I'm
investigation
sorry.
and what has
This is
transpired
terrible,
at
but
least
this
since
is
Madeline Soto's body was
seriously,
discovered
he's
and
right.
Stearns was initially charged, and then a follow-up 60 additional charges were filed against him related to the disturbing evidence on his phone. Here we are now, and we have this press conference from Chief Betty Holland, and Betty tells us very little. And I think I'm being kind when I say very, very little.
You're being too
on my
kind.
notes, they're still waiting on the medical examiner's report. And when specific questions were asked in relation to Madeline's mother, Jennifer Soto, everyone close to Madeline is considered a suspect until otherwise, which basically tells us they haven't ruled out anything, but they're also not definitively stating anything that has transpired with the progress of their investigation. I think it also has to be stated.
Oh my goodness. What do you ladies think about that?
Have they ever gotten the mother's phone? Has anybody heard?
Yeah, they took. I do believe they said they took the mom's phone today. That they took
Stefan's
the
phone.
stepdad's phone. Yeah, Stefan's phone, not stepdad. He don't even deserve.
I want to listen to the rest of what JB has to say.
Okay.
That when you, and perhaps this is something that people might not know about how law enforcement operates. For the most part, this proves to be true. That when a sheriff's office gives a case over to a local police department, the case can shift in pacing in this one respect, and that
You
a
didn't
county
miss that,
sheriff's
beautiful.
office usually, more times than not, is going to have a larger investigative force and more investigative resources than a local police department. So the investigation here might have slowed a bit when the Orange County Sheriff's Office transported this to the Kissimmee police department. I'm not saying that that's definitively happened, but I'm saying that that happens a lot with stories that we cover, and that's regardless of state, regardless of municipality. That more times than not, if a local police
Okay,
department
hold
is
on. I got to
handling
pause it right there
the
for a second,
investigation,
Hollis. Okay, Jennifer Soto did not work overnight. She came home by her own accord and her own statements the night after. She came home, or she was home whenever Madeline got home from the birthday party. She had just gotten off work, and like they met there around, just a short time of each other. And according to to Jennifer Soto's own statements, she was there the night Madeline got home from the birthday party.
Correct.
She had just gotten off work.
Correct.
No, she didn't. So she did not work overnight. By her own statements, she was there that night. And by her and Stefan's statements, the next morning, Jennifer arranged Stefan, which was unusual, to come pick Madeline up and take her to school. And then Jennifer says in her incident report, her sworn written statement, that she witnessed Madeline getting dressed at 8 a.m. and stated what she was wearing, which is not what Madeline was found in, by the way. And reported seeing her get dressed, but Stefan is seen throwing Madeline's book bag and laptop away at 7:30 a.m. So wouldn't she need her book bag and her school laptop? She was already deceased. Had to have been if he was throwing her stuff away, right? So how did Jennifer Soto see Madeline getting ready at 8 a.m.? She didn't. Right?
Absolutely.
I mean, their stories, there's no telling what the true story is here. I think law enforcement. You okay? Anyways, I think law enforcement is having to wait on forensics. I think they are having to wait on the medical examiner's reports. Um, like they said, I believed her when she said that, and I think that they did tell us something today. They told us that Jennifer Soto is a suspect in this case.
I believe that they must have sent out toxology reports on her. They could be waiting for that too. That's what, 6 to 8 weeks? Because that could be interesting too. If she had been slipped something or given something, and who knows, that could have occurred before. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that they're still looking into it. They're gathering the evidence, which sounds to me like they're doing a really good job. And they don't want to rush judgment, which is also good. Um, but I believe that she's still a suspect. That's what I take away from that news conference, in my opinion. And I
I think
do and I do think Hollis is right and Sammy is right that there is more to it. But as far as the murder goes, I think that we're gonna get answers. I really believe we will. They're trying to get it right. And I
they are
believed her
trying to get
when
it right.
she said that, we want proper justice for Madeline. So we're not gonna rush anything. So
I agree
Those
with you, and
accountable.
I think that that chief of police was very professional too.
Yes,
Too.
yes.
Very strong.
I think she is I think she is a woman of conviction, and I think that shows in her body language and how, um, I think she's believable. Like, I believe what she said.
I do too.
And I think she dictated herself very well. I think she was well spoken. I think she was precise in what she was saying. And I mean, I think they're doing their best, you guys. Put a one in chat if y'all think Ellie are doing everything in their power to make sure that Madeline gets justice.
I also liked how she put the
Put a two if
resources
you
out
think they're
there.
dropping the ball.
The resources that she put out there and reminded parents to talk to their children. That was impressive also.
I like that.
Yes, it was.
So it looks like to me they're probably dealing with
I hope
two
you go.
cases in one.
Yep.
I agree.
So they've got their hands full right now, and until they get that autopsy medical examiner report back, they're not going to know her cause of death officially. And
They
then
must, Hollis, they must have something though. They must have something though to sit there and say and confirm that Jennifer Soto is still a suspect in this case.
well, I tell
They
you
would
what,
have cleared her. They would have
Stefan,
cleared her.
well, Stefan, I don't think Stefan's singing like a canary, or she would have been arrested by now.
I agree.
He is tight-lipped, and I understand, like, what PJ said, like, the ring of, what he was involved in can be pretty, hardcore, and I think he's no matter what, like, he's stuck, like, he's gonna be in jail anyway. If he were smart, he'd cut a deal and give them everything he knows.
Well, okay, I'm going to tell everybody right now what I'm saying is speculation because this has not been confirmed. But it has been rumored that Jennifer Soto, this is a rumor. I'm not confirming this. This is not confirmed. This is just the words on the streets. That Jennifer Soto has checked herself into a mental health facility under causing one's own demise possibilities. Um, and if that's true, they literally can't like go in there and remove her or anything. Like they have to wait for her to walk out of the doors to arrest her. If that's true, and that's the law. So if she is checked in, that explains why maybe also there hasn't been an arrest. Maybe, I mean, I have to, if that rumor is true, and like I said, that's a rumor and that's a big what if, but I have to speculate on that because a lot of the things we heard as rumors in the Audrey Cunningham case ended up being true. You know what I
Now,
mean?
have you looked into the statutes of that state, considering the mental health card, meaning with her being checking herself in? Is there
That's
a
what I was gonna
certain
ask.
amount of, yeah?
Well, look, if a doctor says that she is stable enough to not be a threat to anyone or everyone, including herself, then they will release her. But as long as she is under a doctor's care for any kind of harm that she could cause to herself or others, they can't arrest her. She's protected in
She's
a lockdown facility. But if she's self-admitted to a lockdown facility, they typically don't hold you past your insurance. So whatever your insurance will cover is likely how long you're going to be there, unless you're deemed a threat to yourself or others again, and they hold you on the mental health amendment laws. So, yeah.
An officer said that they have interviewed her and she's cooperating. So it makes me wonder if they're talking about a previous interview before she possibly checked herself in or was advised to go in.
You know what?
Um,
You know what I caught from that though, Shar,
what?
was when she said the mother
Yeah.
has been interviewed. Now, are they referring to Jennifer or are they referring to Jennifer's mother?
I think they're talking about Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, I do too. That's what I think.
See, I'm one for words and me, like, that's my, I don't know. I just got it gave me pause. I was like, the mother. Didn't she just refer to her earlier as Jennifer or Jen? I don't know. I just gave me pause when she said that. The mother has given us a statement. I'm sorry to interrupt, Shar. You go ahead.
Okay. The other thing was that I thought it was really interesting that they have confirmed that whatever took place strictly in the house. So that answers a couple of questions for me. And that is that if he was there at that time or was there overnight, it could have happened even earlier than we think. If he wasn't there, then that's almost a positive on allegedly on Jennifer. So if she did the deed, if Jennifer did the deed, allegedly, then she called him after and said, "Come clean it up." Something to that effect. Because whatever happened to Maddie happened in the house, and they confirmed that in the press conference there.
Kathy. You know what? Look, it's not like that. It's that the definition of my name literally is queen. So Regina is queen. Like literally, that's what Regina means is queen. So that's that's funny, Kathy. Sorry. Go. I'm so sorry. Shar, go ahead, love,
I was done.
because I agree with you. Um, and I think that they're waiting, you guys. I think they have an idea of where Madeline died and stuff, and I think that they're just waiting on forensics, really. Um,
I I have two things to point out real quick. Now, if they have video of him dumping the bag in her laptop and him leaving and coming back, then they must have video of when he left that night or and returned, what time he returned. Plus, they'll have the call logs,
Right.
correct?
Yes, they will have the call logs. And see, there had to have been some form of communication. Either it was prearranged the night before that he was going to come pick Madeline up, or she called him the next morning to come pick Madeline up. But now knowing that Madeline wasn't even alive at 7:30, and Mom says she's seen her getting dressed at 8 o'clock, we don't know what the real timeline is. All we can go on is what the timeline law enforcement has given us, that they have video of him throwing her book bag away at 7:35, which means she had to have been dead because she didn't need it. And they have Madeline and um, Stefan on video, and they believe Madeline is already deceased at
Well,
8:19 a.m.
at 7:18, I think is when the camera caught him throwing away her stuff in the dumpster. And then at 7:35 is when his truck returned back into the complex with Madeline, I guess, propped up, right?
Right, but then they're leaving the fact of when he left
You're
and
right.
what time. Did he
And
leave on the
they said
25th?
they said there's cameras at every entrance. So I'm sure they know a lot more than they're giving us. They're just saying, "Hey, look, the cameras caught him throwing her stuff away at 7:18 in the dumpster, and then at 7:35 he returns in the truck with her deceased body for whatever reason we don't know." So I want to know what time she called him to have him come pick up Madeline, because from that point backwards, is, I believe, is when she was unalived by her mother.
I'd like to thank Kathy for looking into the Florida statutes that she can, in fact, be interviewed while in a mental institute, but she can't be interviewed outside of it without a doctor's release. Thank you, Kathy.
Well, Kathy says she can be arrested in Florida while in a mental institution,
Right.
but cannot
Right,
be
but
taken out of there while under a doctor's care. So at
Right.
some point, the
yes,
doctor's just going to go, look, you're fine. Come arrest her.
Yeah.
yep, right.
She won't be able
That's
to
what I was
flee
saying.
long.
That's what I was saying. They could press charges against her and file it, but they couldn't take her out of a doctor's care. So as long as she's there with a doctor saying she's so mentally unstable, she can't go to jail.
Well,
They
Yeah, I
can't
think
remove
that
her.
right now, until they complete all of their necessary reports on any of that, as far as her mental health goes, they got to make sure they got their backside covered. And I would think that they're going through every professional, analysis they can with her to prove her to be fit.
to stand
I
trial.
guess I should rephrase it. They can't take her into custody from a mental
Correct.
hospital unless the doctor releases her, is what I should have said.
Correct.
I guess I
Correct.
explained it wrong. Yeah.
In my
But yes,
opinion,
she
straight
can have the
jacket, straight.
paperwork filed for her arrest. Absolutely. Go ahead, Hollis. I'm sorry.
I just, I think she's playing another game, and I feel like just straight jacket her ass straight behind the bars. Sorry, not
I,
sorry.
yeah, I think she's a great actress.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you,
playing a
Kathy.
game.
I
She's
guess
been
I
playing a
didn't
game.
clarify that right.
She's been playing a game since the minute she ever opened her mouth, and she's still playing a game.
She's a
Yep.
liar.
Yeah, compulsive.
And she's got her attorney directing every move she's making as well.
No doubt.
I'm just stunned that today, after all this time through this investigation, they could not say that Jennifer Soto was not a suspect. As a matter of fact, they validated and clarified that she was, in fact, still a suspect. I think that says a lot. I think that says a lot.
I do too. I think it tells us that until the autopsy comes out or the medical examiner gives us the cause and the manner of death, I think then the ball will start to be rolling and we'll find out a lot more.
Not
But
to
it was
mention,
kind of, I mean, we did find out that yes, she is a suspect because she is close to Madeline, of course, and that the medical examiner report has not come through. So with those two things, I think we did learn something. I don't think it was a nothing burger. I don't think it was what we all wanted, but I think there were subtleties in that press conference that we now know that they're looking into or what's holding things up.
well,
Exactly.
she did validate and say that when she said that it happened in the house. It
Yeah.
was, and we know that two people other than Madeline were in that house, or one or the other. So, because she wasn't at work.
Right?
Good. What do y'all
I
think
bet
about
you.
what do y'all
Go
think
ahead.
about what beautiful Missy Ball just said?
I don't know what she said. I can't
I
see it.
hope Jennifer doesn't pull a Brian Laundry,
Yeah, I
however you say
don't
it.
I don't see that happening. I bet you the very minute she takes her first step outside that place, that's it for her. They're going to take her in. I promise you that. I mean, the dam will break. I mean, that's when we'll find out more stuff because that's probably in the end what's going to hold back any charges, any information until she gets arrested. I believe will happen after she's released from their
I think
facility.
I think she'll plead the Gypsy Rose "I'm a victim" card. She's not going to hurt herself. She's a narcissist. She has no empathy for anybody. That
Yep.
woman
Oh
is
yeah,
devoid of all emotion, in
Yep.
my
Exactly.
I
opinion.
agree. In
I
my
agree.
opinion,
Definitely.
allegedly, in my opinion, yes.
but I don't think she'll have much of an opportunity given the history of this nation and what we've learned over the past couple of years. You know, when people go to running off because they don't want to face the consequences.
Yeah, we. Excuse me.
You know, for me, just the fact that she ran off and did changed her Facebook profile, that was much more important to her. Screamed Casey Anthony to me all over again.
Yeah.
I mean, just her priorities. You can tell.
So is
I find
anyone,
it.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go
I,
ahead.
I just find it very, very hard to believe mom had nothing to do with it. I can't.
Did anyone ever hear a time between when
Can
they came and wanted to search the house and the time that they got the warrant and were able to search the house? Was there a long time frame there? Because those warrants can pretty easily be gotten from what
wasn't
I
it?
understand.
Wasn't it 2 days after Madeline went
Was
missing?
it?
They served a search warrant and arrested him.
Oh, well,
Am I right about that? Is that
I believe he was arrested on Tuesday evening, which would be the day after Madeline was missing, but they arrested him for the phone.
hmm.
But Shar, are you talking about when they did the search warrant
Search.
on Jennifer's home?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that she went to the school at 4:45, and I believe reported her missing. But if memory serves me, it was a little after 8 o'clock before the police even showed up to her residence.
Yeah, because
So I don't know when they served Jennifer Soto a search warrant. I would
I would,
imagine when they showed up, they wanted to look inside the house right away.
right.
And
It's interesting because if she, if allegedly did, Jennifer did the deed to poor Maddie, which is just tearing me up, that she would have had quite a bit of time there to do any cleanup if there was cleanup to
yes,
be done.
absolutely. Well, not only that, but why did she have the cops meet her at this allegedly the fake place we now know Stephen never drove Madeline to school and dropped her off at? But why is that where she
Stalling.
chose to meet the police?
I think she was stalling, getting her
Why did they
story.
have to get a search warrant?
She wouldn't let him in.
She let she let a reporter in her home.
Yeah.
It
Why
was
didn't
the
she want cops
local
coming in
city.
there?
So, which leads us to something else. If there were blood, wouldn't the reporter have smelled the bleach from cleaning it up?
That's a very good question, Char. I don't know. I don't know. I know I probably would.
You were right, Regina. It was 7:35 when he threw her stuff away. It was 8:19 when he returned.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you for
So
clarifying that.
definitely, yeah. She reported Madeline missing at 8 p.m. on Monday. So then 4:45 was when she went to go pick her up. That was that time frame.
She had a lot of
So
time
she
then.
waited till 8 p.m. to report her missing.
Yeah. She had a
She
lot of
told
time to clean up.
police, yeah, and she told her story to them. The mother
Yep.
went to pick Madeline up at school at dismissal and learned she never showed up to school.
Well, that's what
Yep.
mom says.
Which kind of leads me to think that allegedly, if Jennifer were the one to have unalived sweet Maddie, she may have done it in a suffocation type murder rather than anything to do with blood because of the smell of the bleach to clean it up is my only thought there. Or if Stephen,
Bye, Jason.
or if
Thank you for
Stephen,
joining us. Sorry, Charlie. Go ahead. Or Stefan, go ahead.
yeah, or Stefan suffocated her, or whichever. What do you think, Hollis?
I'm just trying to look up when they tried to do a search of her home, her
Okay.
residence. I'm having a hard time finding exactly what time or day it was.
I tend to agree with you, Shar. I really don't think, I think there was probably no real blood involved. I think whatever the manner of death is will be along the line of strangulation or something. It's just a guess for me,
I think it's going to either be
allegedly.
blunt force trauma or strangulation.
You know what I
Yeah,
think? I think she probably put a pillow over her head and
Right,
suffocated her because it's her own child. She
right.
doesn't
and
want to put
we're
herself
all
through that.
speculating. We're all
Yeah, and this is
speculating.
speculation. This is what we call crime chat.
Yeah,
Because
we're
I
chatting
don't,
about crime.
because I don't think she'd want to look at her daughter. I, that's why I'm thinking she probably put a pillow over her face and suffocated her.
Okay, you ladies, you want to know what I think? I want to see. I want to see what other people think. I want to see what I want. What do y'all think? Do y'all want to see what everyone else is thinking?
You're going to have people call in?
Yeah, I'm thinking about having some call-ins.
I
What do
think
y'all
that's a
think?
great idea.
Open them phone lines.
Alrighty. All right, everybody, the phone lines are open. What do you guys think? What do y'all think about the press conference? What do y'all think? Are y'all still, do y'all think that it was confirmed today that Jennifer Soto is a suspect?
I think
We want
so,
to
and
know.
honestly, was when looking at this press conference at first, I thought, oh, this is turning out to be a nothing burger. But then when you listen and you watch, like what is True was saying, you got this lady up here nodding her head, yes and no, and that really solidified it for me.
So, I mean, wow.
But you know something that really gets me is I know that mama had to be aware of what happened to her child. There's no way in the world that when she says she saw her getting dressed at 8 a.m., that that was even true based on what we know now so far, allegedly. And my thing is this, she pretended to go pick her up and didn't notice her missing till the end of the school day. Yeah, she's a good actress.
Sammy, now that you mentioned that, just think about it. If she is guilty of this crime, then she pulled up at that school at 4:45 and waited as a farce.
Exactly.
I mean, that's calculated.
Yep.
And then waited till 8 p.m. to call. That's calculated.
Yep.
I think it was very calculated. I think that they put as much time they get. I think that Stefan Stern's goal was to dispose of Madeline before school was out. I think the flat tire, he was afraid whenever he had the flat, like what is true, or I believe it was you, wasn't it, Crystal, or was it you, Sammy, that said that um, she was likely in the car and he had the flat and was afraid of getting caught, so he just put her right there and tried covering her up while he
Yeah,
changed the tire.
that was. I know I said it. I'm not sure if Sammy said it. She could have.
I didn't say it, but I can concur with that. I just feel like I don't know if the flat tire was a thing or not. Was it real? You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he actually did change it, I think was a ploy to, just say, hey, I had a flat. So, as far as I can't even fathom the reasons why parents are doing this, people are doing this to children. But when I look and I think about it, I just can't even imagine. I can't think. I can't think at that point.
Man, it's
Uh,
just I'm with JB on this one. I'm I'm baffled.
I got a lot from it myself. I really did. I think I think it was informative without being informative, and um, I mean, we did get some solid answers. Like some of the speculation is out of the way.
Very. It was the day after Madeline went missing. She let reporters in. It was at least 24 hours from whenever she allegedly went missing.
That she did the interviews inside her home.
Uh huh.
Well, I think this press conference had a lot in between the lines. Once you dissected it, I think it told us a lot. But I think we all wanted more.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Jinx. But I do think it told us, it answered a few questions. And in an article I did read, it did say that she did tell her daughter good night that night. So she was at home that night to put Madeline to sleep.
She said that in her interview, one of her interviews.
Yeah.
Oh, she showed us
Hmm.
all her presents. She was so happy. And then she went to bed. She left her, she didn't have her phone. She didn't have her laptop. I didn't say goodnight to her. I didn't say I love her. I didn't tuck her in. I didn't give her a kiss on the forehead. None of that. She said none of that.
Yes, we do,
Sorry.
Kathy.
That
Always.
woman,
No, you're right.
she
You're right.
infuriates me as a mother, as a woman, as a human being. I find her disgraceful. And that is my opinion of that woman. And it's telling to me that we don't see people coming out of the woodwork to defend this woman. Her own friends and family are questioning her behavior.
I mean, rightfully so, I should say, wouldn't you? I mean,
Agreed.
wow. Man, I would be losing my mind. Now, I understand that not everyone would quite lose their mind like I know I would if my kid was missing. Like, y'all, I would be a slobbering, blubbering, like I don't think I'd be able to do anything but scream and beg for my kid. I don't think there's as a mother, I don't think there's anything more appropriate than I mean, look at Riley Strain's mom. Look at that mother, that poor mother, you guys. You can see the sincerity that woman is longing for her child. Look at Cassie whenever Audrey Cunningham was missing. You could see it all over their faces. All they wanted was their child back. And what did Cassie do? Cassie said, come in my house, search anything you got to, look at anything you need to find my daughter. That is how a mother is supposed to act. That's how I'm going to act. If some, God forbid, oh Lord help me, God forbid anything ever happen. But that's how I would act. That's what I would do.
I
And
mean,
Jennifer
acting.
Soto. I seen Jennifer Soto's Facebook page firsthand, and her own friends were turning on her, calling her a murderer and saying she was a liar and she knew what happened, and going off on her is the reason she changed her Facebook. People that she called friends were saying these things to her. So you're right about that, beautiful. Her own friends and family won't stand up for her and defend her.
I think she was extremely jealous of her own daughter.
I do too.
I
I
agree.
agree.
Extremely jealous.
And the other sad part of this is Madeline most likely died still loving her mother just the same.
Oh,
That just tears me up.
That's what
Me
tears
up.
me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yes.
Wow, Crystal.
Big.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yes.
Mm.
Well, on that note, girls, I have to go. I have parental duties to jump on the bandwagon with.
All
So
right.
I will talk to you guys later. So that's a wrap for me. What is true? What you just said, just really wow.
Me too.
Wowzer.
Mm-hmm.
It was good to talk to you, Hollis.
Yeah, it was good to talk to you guys too. So I'm going to sign out, everybody. I'm glad everybody was here. We love all our mods. We love everybody in our chat. As you can tell,
Thank
we
you,
love to
Hollis.
chat about crime. Thank
Have
you,
a good
Sammy.
rest of your day.
You
Love you,
too,
Hollis.
Char. What is true? Sammy, I'll be on replay tonight for you over at All Things Serious because I have a lacrosse game to attend. So,
Thank you so much. Good
so
luck with the game.
you're
Yes.
welcome.
Good luck with
I'll
the
be there
game.
for that. And yeah, y'all call in. Somebody call in. Kathy, call in. Give us your opinion, Kathy. We want to hear from you. Anybody, call in.
Yes, Kathy. We would love for you to call in. You want to come up on panel?
Is Kel Kel?
I
Have
love you,
Kel Kel
Hollis.
call in. Let's get some other people's opinions on what they saw.
We want to know what you guys think. We want to know what y'all think.
I just
Oh,
can't
Kathy,
remember.
I hope you're feeling okay.
Does anyone remember when Maddie's mom went into this facility? I mean,
Well,
has it only been like a week or two?
her birthday was March 2nd, so she was out on her birthday per her Facebook. Not out
Yes,
like out, but she was not in a
Hadn't been in yet. Yeah.
right. So
it has not been confirmed that Mama's in this place, but all of the
Oh,
people
okay.
that know her on Facebook and stuff are saying that's what's going on. So that's speculation. Like I said earlier, it has not been confirmed that she is. But if she is, that would explain why. I mean, there could still be court issued documents for an arrest on anyone at any time, but they can't remove her from a health facility where she is under the strict supervised care of a physician because she could be a danger to herself or others. So that's but they as soon as she's released from that doctor's care, then she can be arrested if she is in a mental health care facility. So we don't know for sure. Well, it doesn't look like we're getting any call-ins, you guys. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and is there anything y'all wanted to add to this, Crystal or Sammy or Char?
Nope. Don't think so.
Nope, I'm good.
All I'm going to say is remember, share a smile, save a life, kindness and compassion. And as a whole society, we really need to do better. That's
Yeah,
all
we
I
do.
got.
All right. Well, Sammy, was there anything else you wanted to add? Oh, by the way, you guys, big news tonight. Sammy is gonna be over on All Things Serious, Eddie's channel. Um, Everybody come on over and let's show our girls some love. And Sammy, do you wanna tell a little bit about what you're gonna be doing tonight?
So tonight, well, as you know, all things serious, he talks about mental health. And so we're going to be discussing some issues with mental health. And that's pretty much all I know. You know, I have severe PTSD. And so I live with this daily. Not being able to take pharmaceuticals really makes it complicated. But I have found ways that, I can treat the symptoms so that I don't have major triggers. But we're going to have discussions tonight about some of that. That's about all I'm going to say.
Right on. And I'm sorry, just before we go, could I get my mods to put all thing well, there's all things serious, but could I get all things serious link and can I get tattooed rebels link and the docket and um allegedly with Brittany's links put up for everybody? We believe in working with other communities and true crime. And of course, mental health ties into true crime a lot. So we believe in working together with other creators to try and cover these cases as thoroughly as possible. And we collaborate a lot. And I would just like to share our wonderful collaborators with everyone. Go ahead, Sammy. Was there anything else you wanted to say?
No, that was it. That's all.
All right. And is Char, is there anything else you'd like to add, love?
I'd just like to say how much I enjoy being here with all of you in the panel, and that we have the best mods ever. And I want to acknowledge them. And thank you for allowing me to have my voice heard. Thank you. Love you guys so much.
Love you too. I love you, Char. You're beautiful. Goodbye. I'll talk to
Bye.
you later.
Okay.
Sammy. Oh,
Yes. Y'all have a good day. Thank you for showing up.
I love you, beautiful. I'll talk to you in Discord.
Love you too.
Bye. What is true?
Yes, ma'am.
You're amazing, and I love you. Thank you for helping me do all of this and being here.
Oh, thank you. And love you too. And I appreciate everyone that's been in chat, all the mods. They work so hard. The other panelists, Char, Sammy, Hollis. It's it's amazing as always, and it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just glad you ladies will have me. I'm so blessed to be surrounded with everyone that I'm surrounded with. And that applies to a lot of you too. Sweet and Sleuthy, love you, girl. Kathy, Low 12, Midwest, um, just Kel, Paige, um, beautiful Messy Ball. How could I ever forget you? Um, you guys, we're so blessed to be Miss Brazzy. Oh my goodness, Miss Brazzy. Oh, I love her. um, there's so many people that I could sit here and list and name, but you know who you are. Um, and I love you and I thank you for being a part of this. And also, if y'all haven't hit that like button, would you please go ahead and do that for me? It's free. And if you liked anything, any of the content and you haven't subscribed up, please consider doing so. We appreciate y'all. Um, Kindness is free. A smile could save a life, literally. It could mean the difference. in someone's day. It could keep them from going over the edge in some circumstances, you know. And it's always important to lock our doors and stay vigilant. Um, you never know what's happening right next to you. If you see something, say something. And with that said, blessings and good night.